and welcome to the Football Today podcast. It is Friday, the 1st of March. I'm shocked no one punched Stats Guy, the old pinch and a punch for the first day of the month. I'm your host, Alex Donnelly. I've been welcomed back into the fold. Well, I've just been absolutely championed straight back into the host chair after Stats Guy did, well, it wasn't a terrible job, Stats Guy. I'll give you some credit.
I'll take some positivity.
Okay stuff there, Stats Guy.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that from
commendable.
you.
Yeah.
Look, I've heard a lot of worse things come out of you now, so I'll take that.
Absolutely. Over on the far end, we got Marcus Barzano there in a shirt that I've also ordered. It's coming soon, so Stats Guy may be left out.
Yeah, should I get one just so I can get the Spider-Man trend?
Spider-Man 2.
One of the all-time Spider-Man 2 shirts there. Look, as said, Friday, 1st of March. Basically, we're here to wrap up the Tillies' dominant victory on Wednesday night at Marvel Stadium. Of course, we'll take a look ahead to the Premier League coming up this weekend and some A-League that's going on. I think we got a derby. Marcus is going to talk all about that. But hey, I'm back. Had a bout of food poisoning, but that didn't stop me from watching Arsenal score about 8,000 goals while I was away. It was absolutely awesome. And I just want to point out one thing before I start, Marcus.
Oh, here we go.
I got fired up in the airport last week listening to this. You were like, I don't think Arsenal can win the Champions League after they lost to Porto. Well, then you tipped Bayern, who couldn't get a result that morning.
Well, that's because Bayern Munich have actually won the Champions League.
They've won the Champions League, this, that. We're talking about actual teams this year and how they're going. How are Bayern Munich going at the moment?
Not
Horrendous?
No,
Horrendous.
not really. I wouldn't say they're going horrendous.
For Bayern Munich?
For their standards.
I'll just say Bayer Leverkusen are exceeding expectation.
And Harry Kane not winning a trophy is hilarious.
No.
But yeah.
I just think Bayern Munich have a better chance than Arsenal.
They looked a lot worse than Arsenal did in both preceding games, I thought. So
I guess, but they both lost 1-0. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I really fired up listening to it.
I hope Bayern Munich and Arsenal face each other in the semis and Harry Kane scores a hat-trick at the Emirates.
Oh, no, he'll get a penalty because it's Harry Kane at the Emirates.
That would be nuts. The other thing is I love how when you left, you're like, I'm not listening to the show. You guys, I'm just going to trust you. And then every week, you need to do this on the show. I love that you were listening to it. So great.
Someone's got to download the goddamn show. If you
Yes.
haven't, please download it at the below things that's popped up there. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere else. Follow us on the socials. The boys did a bunch of stuff while I was away. It was good stuff.
Absolutely.
Give them credit there.
Lovely. Thank you.
All right, let's rip into this Matildas game from Wednesday night. In the nicest way of saying it, it was an old school country ass whipping. 10-0.
One thing, as you would say.
Yeah.
Was it at halftime,
8-0 at halftime, and then Hayley Raso decided to bring out the double guns when she scored the goal in like the 70th minute, which was pretty funny. Got a massive cheer when she came on, did Hayley Raso. But quick breakdown of this game, 10-0. You guys did the interview with Aaron Smith before the game on the Wednesday morning, and the chat was attack. And
Jeez, can't do much more attack.
Can't do much more than attack. At one point, I think we were averaging a goal every 4 minutes at about the 20th minute mark. It was 5-0.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
It was absolutely ridiculous. Scored the first goal in, was it 32 seconds?
37.
Or 37 seconds, whatever that was. That's unbelievable. Probably should have scored more if you got 8 at half time. That's pretty disappointing. Only got 2 in the second half. But yeah, that was unbelievable. Heyman getting 4, which is awesome. She's come back into the side at 35 years of age and scored 5 goals in her first 2 matches back.
Yep.
Uzbekistan, some of those goals though were horrendous. The keeper, who was really good in the first game, forgot how to goal kick.
We talk about her coming off.
She faked the injury, I reckon.
Do we know what's wrong? Because I think she may have snapped her Achilles the way she went down.
Well,
because watching the replay, it's like nothing's gone wrong here. So my only possible thought is...
I feel bad.
That's my only possible thought is it's an Achilles injury because no one touched it, but the way she went down holding the back of her ankle, it's got to be an Achilles.
If it's anything.
I think it felt like a bit of a fake injury when you conceded 8 goals. She's like, get me off. This is torture.
How old is she? Because she looked like 16 and 30 at the same time. Because she had braces and the hairdo was just...
born in 1999, so 25.
25?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty old. That's almost just a bit older than me.
That's pretty old, isn't it?
Yeah. We found the woman for Stats Guy. We found the girl for Stats Guy.
I'm going to Uzbekistan.
So I did take some notes on this, and I was like, just watching it in the first half, I was like, all right, I'll write some notes down while I was at the game. I was behind the goal mouth where all the gols were scored in the first half, so it was great.
Perfect.
Yep.
So at one point I was like, should we just stay standing? Like we're just scoring every couple of minutes. I was like, I loved how focused we were in attack and actually playing a lot of balls. And no Emily Van Egmond starting was big for me because
you don't like
actually, not that I don't like her.
Doesn't suit our style.
I just think she's slow. And we looked a lot more dangerous and quicker in that final third. And we started scoring, which is something that's been a serious issue for the Matildas over the past 18 months.
Considering Emily Van Egmond is pretty much in preseason, I don't think she would have scored the goals that Heyman scored, particularly in terms of the header in particular and like the cross into the box. The other ones were tap-ins.
Heyman was the perfect inclusion over Sam. Like, obviously, Sam Kerr's injured the ACL, which everyone's been talking about. But perfect inclusion because there's not many players out there that are really good headers and can jump like that. So she
had a leap.
She has a great leap, really good header. And I know the keeper probably should have done better, but the fact that our corners were coming in,
wasn't great.
Like, corners were coming in, and she was still scoring. Just always in the right spots.
Yeah, she was. She did find herself in the right spots. I did notice that Ellie Carpenter was inverting into midfield as well, and she looked very dangerous.
Yeah,
and just kept feeding Caitlin Torpey on that wing as well, who I thought had a good moments, but also had some moments which weren't great as well. Which, if she doesn't get picked for the Olympics, it's sort of those ones you can look at back and go, okay, that's maybe why she failed to cement a spot.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wouldn't do if I was an opposition team looking at this game and preparing for the Olympics. I wouldn't give Mary Fowler 20 metres of space.
Yeah. If she gets a little bit of a run up, she's taken on 5 players.
Honestly.
She's going to dominate. Yeah.
Remember though, she was on the wing and she just walked past the player into the box and it got saved. But like,
it was ridiculous. It's just like, there's a yard. There's Mary Fowler. There's an acre. Okay, cool. We're just going to let this happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, if you want to lose a game, probably a great idea.
That's not going to happen in the Olympics.
Watching her play in Australia and then thinking about, how is she not starting for
Manchester City, which is weird because she was starting a lot last season.
She lost a bit of confidence, I think. Like she couldn't get on the score sheet and things like that. I reckon towards the end of this season, she might come back in, I reckon. Just lost a little bit of confidence. And they've obviously got a very great squad.
Yeah, Manchester City. But they've got a few injuries as well. Your mate Jill Roord did her ACL.
Jill Roord? I forgot about Jill Roord. Yeah. Love a bit of Jill Roord.
Yeah, but I also thought, I did enjoy there was one point where one of the Uzbekistan players went down and the rest like, nah, get up. There was a lot of attempted time wasting. Like, there was a couple of times, I think, there was a little girl a couple of rows in front of me at one point in the second half. And one of the players went down and they showed the replay up on the screen. She's like, she didn't even get touched.
She's making it.
It's like, yes.
She's been brought up well. She's not going to be on the pitch later in the week going,
I absolutely appreciated that.
The only thing better was if there was profanity used by the little girl.
That's one thing. Great vibes at these games. Everyone was just happy to be there.
Yeah. Helps when you score a goal every 5 minutes.
But just in general, there was great vibes. And there was actually... two friends sitting in front of me. A girl got her multi up when Caitlin Ford scored and was going off. So
that's what I was going to say. The only thing better was if Kyra Cooney-Cross scored her first international
I was going to
goal.
bring that up because we had Amy Sayer finally score her first goal and it was more of a thank God.
Cooney-Cross tried.
She was trying.
Yeah. I had a couple of shots from outside the box. But
it was almost like, can someone just cut someone down in the penalty box so we can let Cooney-Cross take a penalty?
Yeah.
Just the old Kai Havertz, here's a goal just to get you going. So... out of this game, they had a 23-person squad. Only 22 could be named on match day. This needs to get cut to 18. Who are the unlucky
tough,
four that miss
do.
out? So if you go back to the squad for...
Claire Hunt would probably come into the squad. She wasn't in the squad.
No, she played. She
was on the... She was on the...
Who was
she started?
Yeah, Claire Hunt started. You're thinking of Polkinghorn.
Polkinghorn. Yeah, they might
she didn't get a game.
keep her out because she's getting a bit older now.
I thought there was someone that wasn't in the squad for the Uzbekistan games that normally is... I
can't remember off the top
of my head.
I think Aaron Smith mentioned it.
I think it's really tough. It's a good problem to have. So, like in the past, we would have gone, 18. It's probably even tough to pick 18. But now we've got to break that down from 22.
Do you take 3 keepers or 2?
I think you only need 2, really. What are the chances of 2 keepers getting injured?
So that means Matheson Wyman doesn't go.
But didn't TG, I think Tony
He's talked about
he did
taking
3. So we'll probably...
Are the rules? I know in some competitions you got to have a minimum amount of keepers. Is it 2 or is it 3?
Well, if it's 2, it's Tegan Micah and Mackenzie Arnold going across.
Definitely.
So then, that means Wyman doesn't get chosen. And
Heyman's put her hand up now. Before these 2 games, Heyman wouldn't have even been on the radar.
So. She's going to be touch and go, which I think Van Egmond will keep a spot because she can play in so many different positions.
Same as Torpey, I think that's what I'm leaning towards.
Hayley Razzo's absolutely going to go. Charlotte Grant will absolutely go. So then it's players like Polkinghorn, Wheeler, Lagazzo, and Avi Lewick as well, who...
Yeah, I think Lagazzo is probably the first one to miss out because she didn't even feature in those 2 matches and she's coming back from injuries and things like that. So I think she will, unfortunately... Polkinghorn probably getting a bit too old now. Obviously, the most capped Matilda of all time, absolute legend.
It's very rough to leave her out, but you can understand why.
I think we got too many good players now.
She probably would have featured at the Rio Olympics.
Yeah, she did. She did, I think.
I've just had a quick look. In the men's Summer Olympics in 2020 for the football, they had to have a minimum of 2.
Okay.
So I assume it's probably the same for the upcoming Olympics.
Yeah. Who do you reckon, Alex? It's very tough, though.
I think I'd only take 2 keepers. I wouldn't take 3 because it does give you more options out wide. And if you somehow lose 2 keepers, that's just Well,
Yes.
well, damn.
Who would you chuck in there as a fun little game?
Well,
there?
Uzbekistan almost had to do
Emily
that. They
Van
almost had to-
Egmond.
Van Engel, just because she's tall.
She's real tall.
Yeah, just get. Alana Kennedy's pretty tall. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. No, you can't take Kennedy out at centre back.
Mini Gori.
Yeah, yeah.
Australia's hero, Mini Gori. How dare Katrina Gori take her away from that press conference? She was about to say something that could change the world.
Yeah.
I think Lewick, Wyman, Polkinghorn, and probably Lagazzo missing.
Yeah, I
out.
think so as well.
Yeah.
Wheeler's probably on the verge as well because she
I
hasn't
think-
really played many minutes for Australia.
Yeah, it's
But
tough.
she's been going well in the WSL. So.
You don't want Tony Gustafson's job.
No, no.
Which leads to the nah that you've thrown in, which we have one every,
I chuck one in there.
Football Today show. Stats guy's thrown it in today. Nah. Can the Matildas win a gold medal at the Olympics? And before we answer, I'm going to give you the teams that are playing in the Olympics.
Yep. All right.
Of course, the Matildas are there. France, USA, Brazil, Colombia, Canada, New Zealand, Spain, Germany, Japan. Two of Zamibia or Morocco?
Zambia.
I wrote an extra I. And one of Nigeria and South Africa. So they've got their playoffs coming up soon. And of course, the Matildas are there.
It's all the best teams from the World Cup.
Except for the Netherlands and England. It's missing out the two finalists from Euros.
True.
Yeah.
It's a hot field.
It is. I'm going to say, just because the depth is there.
You think we can win the gold medal?
First, 100% the goal is to win a medal because we obviously haven't won a Olympics medal. But I think we have the squad to play this tournament football as we showed at the World Cup. I know we stuffed up on that sort of final hurdle to get into the final.
That wasn't that we stuffed up. It was that we had a lack of rotation. Our players
Lack of rotation. I think that they might learn from that. Really confident in this tournament football as they showed in the World Cup. Don't have as much pressure in the Olympics compared to this home World Cup as well. So I think that adds a little bit to that. I don't know. I just think they got a big chance of winning gold.
Can we yes? Will we no?
Okay.
So that's what I'm leaning with.
I'm going with that.
Yeah.
I think particularly in tournament football, I don't like the way TG sort of approaches games. I think it's too defensive considering the amount of talent on the ball we have, especially in attacking areas. And without Sam Kerr,
makes it a little
for the
bit tougher,
Olympics,
But
we don't have that game changer that will bag you a goal in the 90th minute, like she did against, well, not in the 90th minute, but she bagged a goal against England out of nowhere.
Yep.
I don't think we will have that.
I think we can win it. I don't think we will. I think Spain are the team to beat. I won't be shocked if America crash out once again because
they lost to Mexico for the first time in years.
Yeah, it was the first home game they've lost in like forever.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. And I think Spain qualified over the Netherlands. Germany, qualified over the Netherlands like in the last couple of days. So it's a hot field. Germany will be looking to bounce back after a horrendous
Japan will
World
be
Cup.
all right.
France Japan smashed Spain in the World Cup. So this is a hot field. Canada absolutely touched us up recently as well. So yeah. Before we move on, it's not on the run sheet. Of this Matildas squad, because obviously Sam Kerr is not there, who is the most important player to the success of the Matildas at the Olympics?
That's a good call.
That is a very good question.
So this isn't who's the best player.
There's so many players.
Because that's you can argue about four there.
Yeah.
But what player's form is the most pivotal to the Matildas winning a medal at the Olympics?
I think you got to look in that midfield, and I'm probably either going Cooney Cross's running games at the moment or
I was going to say Gori. I was going to say Gori,
Yeah.
Just because that box-to-box sort of player is so important in any type of football. You look at Arsenal, your Arsenal, for example. Declan Rice is running the show there.
Oh, yeah, we'd be screwed.
Look at when Chelsea were at their peak was when N'Golo Kante was running the CDM there.
Yeah.
And I think CDM is and Rodri at Man City as well, they win more games when Rodri's in and things like that. So comparing that to the Premier League, come back to the Matildas, I think, Gori she's helping West Ham win a lot of games in the WSL because of her work from box to box. So I'll go Gori,
Not only that, but even look at the assist she gave to Mary Fowler.
Yeah.
It was very smart and intelligent. We just need more players like that, especially big tournament football, single games, moments, do or die. And obviously midfield is where the game's going to be won and lost.
Yep.
I'm Caitlin Ford.
Ford is,
Caitlin
that's
Ford.
not, you can name a few players.
I
terms of a consistent goal scorer?
I think consistent goal scorer, pace, strength, and she can break the lines. I think if we went with the same squad we had and we took out Caitlin Ford, I think that would
struggle
hamper
a bit more, yeah.
That would absolutely hamper our chances of winning a medal.
Did you include Heyman in your Olympic squad?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Don't mind that.
Yeah.
Because I think even if she doesn't start, I think coming off the bench, as she showed in those games.
Because you can play Fowler at a false
Fowler
nine.
and Rasso, you could do either side and Heyman up top.
Yep.
Or
come off the bench even, yeah.
Fowler, Ford, Rasso.
Yep. So many options, which is very exciting.
It's great. It's a great time to be a fan of the Matildas, and 12 sellouts in a row at home.
Crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
National sporting they're the national sporting
they're
team.
Australia.
I'm absolutely
They're
behind.
Australia's team.
Yeah.
How many get there? 54?
54,120.
Yeah.
And there was a
brilliant.
bunch of corporate douches that didn't turn up.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, because it was a bit too hot. Oh, in their air-conditioned box.
I was sweating. It was sweaty, but it was worth it. They were letting off the fire. It was a great time. Vibes were high at Marvel Stadium.
Absolutely.
Unlike soon when St Kilda and Western Bulldogs start playing. Anyway, that's the AFL Today. You should go check out the AFL Today show. It's available. We just did a Over-Unders podcast. It might be out by now, as well as the first show this season. Apparently, Hawthorn fan Leo just didn't stop talking the whole time, so he wasn't allowed on the second show.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Anyway, let's get to the A-League match of the week. Marcus, Stats Guy, take over because I have missed all of the A-League in the last month.
That's all right.
Let's
Marcus,
do it.
Yeah.
Sydney Derby, huge game. One of the biggest games on the calendar.
The men's A-League.
Yeah, for the men's A-League and the women's as well. Also Sydney Derby, but we'll focus on the men's for this one just because ladder position, there's a bit more on the line. They're 5th versus 6th. Obviously, the top 6 make finals. I think the gap between 6th and 7th, Sydney and City, is about 7 points. So it's almost a bit of a 6-pointer for Sydney.
Yep.
But the record is Western Sydney have won 11. There's been 9 draws, and Sydney FC have actually come out on top 16 times.
Still pretty close.
Including
Yeah.
the last 2 at this stadium.
Yep.
So it's been a feature of the away side, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I wrote down here, the away side has actually won the last 5 Sydney men's derbies, which is really surprising when you got Western Sydney and Sydney who actually have these really big fan bases. You got Western Sydney, the Wanderers crowd's crazy.
The Tifos are brilliant for the Sydney Derby.
Yeah,
Always
there's always...
I remember there was a... Was it Nightmare on Elm Street? Freddie Krueger.
Yes, there was.
That was brilliant. And obviously Milos Ninkovic, who's still
who went from Sydney to Western Sydney. Yeah,
he got kicked out of the. I remember watching A-League All Access, and the Sydney coach, he came into the rooms after the game, Ninkovic, into the Sydney, his old teammates, and was saying, "How's it going? Like, good luck for the rest of the season." And the Sydney coach
wasn't happy.
Cracked it, walked in the change room, told him to rack off.
Fair enough.
So, I don't blame him.
He was a big name for Sydney FC. He's just
But
dogged
this is
him.
a very fiery derby. And I remember the home side in sort of both occasions dominated, but it was the away side that nicked a goal.
Yeah.
But
Back in the day,
back in a draw.
This is when
Back in a draw? Oh, what a surprise. Marcus loves a draw. Nothing has changed, but he
Nothing
still
has
loves a
changed,
draw.
1-1 draw.
Back in the day, I remember the Western Sydney fans walking from the pubs to the games, and they just take over a couple of streets.
They still do that. They still do that.
They're crazy.
Not as wild as it used to be.
Not as wild,
That's
not
for
as
sure.
packed as it used to be, but
I'm going to go Sydney FC win. You've got in here. I'm beaten in their last 6. I think they're in better form, and I think they're charging towards that higher final
I think
spot. So.
Western Sydney haven't won in their last 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. But I think they had a draw last time out thanks to a former Western United youngster, Milanovic.
Yeah, nice.
And side note, back to before when you said a Matildas player who was usually in the squad didn't play, Courtney Vine.
Oh,
That's
When you said Sydney FC and for the women's derby, it made me think.
She will
Yes,
100%
that's who I was thinking of.
come back into that team because she's a star. So.
Well, you don't know.
I think she will unless she's injured or something like that. Yeah.
Personal reasons apparently the issue, so let's hope she's all right. That's all that matters.
Pick a winner for us in the men's derby, Alex.
It's 50-50.
I'm from the east of Sydney, so Sydney FC.
The blue, the sky blue.
Yeah, sky blue. If I was ever a fan of a team when I lived in Sydney, it would have been Sydney FC because I lived in the east. So
Fair enough, yeah.
Anyway, all right. As always on the Football Today show, we have a trivia question, and somehow these plonkheads are only like 1 point in front of me at the moment. I did protest before the show that they had 3 guesses while I was away and struggled to get across.
That's all right.
Yeah. So Leo's back. He's got the trivia question. What have we got this week, Leo?
I've had a stinker last few.
Game's a game, Alex. I'm just saying.
All right, boys. As we know, Michelle Heyman, she netted 4 on Wednesday night. It was absolutely awesome. She's been tearing up the W League, leading the goals scored.
Marcus knows this.
I want how many goals and assists she scored for Canberra United this season.
Stats guy. Like combined?
Combined.
14.
14,
Marcus, I'm going to go 16.
16.
I'll just say 17 and hey, it's Saturday.
Are we going closest or what are we doing?
Well, Alex is bang on.
Oh, wow. How did
She's got 16 goals, doesn't she?
She has 12 goals.
So anyway, I
assists.
said, she had 12.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
I'll go
Oh,
17
he's come
just
back
'cause
with-
if it's over.
Oh, no, hey, it's Saturday. It's a great rule.
Yeah, just go the over.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that's the first half of the show done and dusted. We'll be back after this. We'll run through some EPL games for the weekend and then wrap up.
Hi, I'm David Kickno. I'm James Clements. I'm the host of the AFL Today Show. And you can join me and a rotating cast of AFL nuffies, lunatics and journos celebrating all things footy in the world's singly greatest one-stop shop for every level of AFL fan. That's right, every game of the 2024 AFL season will be previewed and wrapped for you. Every storyline covered, every big moment broken down, every big hit celebrated. every Supercoach angle looked at, and every type of credit given to the boys. That's right, with guests from around the AFL world, AFL Today will have you sorted for all things footy. So, 3 times a week, make sure you get your AFL fix with the AFL Today Show.
Welcome back to the Football Today Show for the second half of the show. EPL Matchweek 27. We'll just quickly run through some games there, but of course we do have our big call and doomsday scenario for the weekend. Stats guy, start us off with your big call.
My big call, we've obviously got Wolves. Been in really good form under Gary O'Neill. Marcus has been talking them up. I'm going to go Wolves to beat Newcastle at St. James's Park. I know Newcastle haven't been in great form.
Haven't. They got belted
At
last
all.
week.
At all. They haven't been in great form at all. They've been really bad at St. James's Park. Last year, there was like an absolute fortress. They hardly lost there. I think they only had 1 or 2 losses there. But they've been such a roller coaster there. I'm going to go Wolves to beat them there. And yeah, the Geordies will not be happy. So that's my big call.
Well, a bunch of them are just checked out. Like Bruno
Yeah.
Guimaraes, dead set looks like he's waiting for a transfer at the moment.
He does.
Like, he's waiting to leave.
It's weird because you see in games when he's playing well, he loves the club so much, like
Yeah.
the passion that he brings out.
But he's just half
he's a
checked
fan
out.
favourite there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I don't
Playing
know.
like he's checked out.
Is Eddie Howe's maybe just not just picking
I don't
up
know
the
if
vibe
it's Eddie
a little
Howe,
bit,
but
or-
well, it might be. But I think it's just sort of the effort.
All
The
their,
effort in the midfield.
all their
there.
defenders are in horrendous form at
Yeah.
the moment too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
last year they were the best defense,
think
wasn't it? Or the second
one
best
of the
defense.
best.
And this year they've been horrible.
you think Joel Linton's probably the only legitimate starter that's missing at the moment, and they were bad.
Yeah.
last
was
weekend.
Alexander Isak still injured?
He started against Arsenal.
Yeah, he's back.
He
Which
just
is
didn't
handy.
get near the ball because they
Yeah.
got suffocated.
The other thing, their offense isn't the problem anyway. It's their defense. They're just conceding way too many goals. Wolves are finding goals even from their defenders. So I'm really loving Wolves, and that's my big call.
Cool.
I'm going to go Bournemouth to get their first win in 6 games.
Ooh.
So they play Burnley away.
Oh. They should beat
It's a
them.
bit of a
But
6-pointer for Burnley, but
yeah,
you know, I
should.
still think that Bournemouth will get their first win.
yeah.
And my big call is Arsenal put 7 past Sheffield
7.
United.
Woo. I don't mind that though. Sheffield is so bad.
Didn't you back Wolves for 5 or 6 past Sheffield, and then they only finished 1-0? But
Yeah,
that was a
yeah, I
terrible
was so
game.
bad.
But but the way Arsenal are going at the moment, they're up and about.
Is this at? Where is this at?
They're hungry.
Yeah, okay.
What's it? I can't remember what it's called.
Bramall Lane.
Bramall Lane.
Yeah.
I was thinking Kenilworth Road. That's a completely different one. Yeah, good old Luton. But yeah, Arsenal, they put 5 past them earlier in the year with Eddie and Nketiah starting as striker. The way that Arsenal are going at the moment, 7 is not out of the reach. And
amount of
Arteta wants
goals,
to bury them.
jeez.
The goal difference at the moment is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
You guys are averaging 4 goals pretty much in the last month and a half. So if you can
No,
get 4,
they've literally averaged 4 goals
Yeah.
a game since the Liverpool game.
yeah.
You never know. Goal difference might be crucial towards the end of the season.
Well, they've
Yeah.
pumped it up now. I think they're almost in front on goal difference.
They
now.
are 39,
Yeah.
Liverpool 38, City 33.
Yeah,
Ooh,
look at
that's very handy,
1
yeah.
month of form, battering teams to 0 has worked.
Very handy.
Also, shout out to everyone who thought David Raya was a downgrade. Anyway, doomsday scenario. I'll start off. Aston Villa dropping points at Luton Town.
Oh.
That's why Kenilworth Road on the
We've had
map.
Aston Villa drop points for about 10 shows. in a row
Yeah,
now.
I got in trouble for that, so I didn't talk about it.
Well, I Ken's. I've been away.
You haven't been here, so I'll let him
But
off.
this is a game they need to go away and win if they want to stay in contention for Champions League. This is one of those ones they look back on at the end of the year and go, dropping points at Luton.
And
killed
they've
us.
been pretty shaky recently.
they
Even
haven't
though they
looked
picked
great.
up a win last time out, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was pretty,
against Notts.
4-2, 5-2,
Yeah.
something like that.
4-2.
What have we got? Oh, I've got Spurs drop points to Palace. Same sort of thing for Doomsday scenario this week. They're sort of just out of the top 4 obviously now, but
Yeah.
they've got that game in hand. If they don't win this game in hand and Aston Villa win, that gap becomes massive. So if Aston Villa win and Tottenham lose or don't get the full points, they can be up to 8 points behind? 8 points behind Villa, which means they're probably not going to make the top 4. So this is a massive game for Spurs just to prove that they are worthy of top 4. Palace have been horrible, so they should win, but Doomsday scenario suggests a Spursy loss on the cards.
I'm going to go a double doomsday blow.
Oh, here we go.
Bruno Fernandes gets injured.
Oh,
so
no.
Rasmus Højlund is already out for 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
There's a goal scorer gone, and the person who's creating all their chances, Bruno Fernandes, if
Yeah.
he goes, that's big trouble. And then that'll just lead in. They also get smashed by City in that same game in the Manchester derby, which
There
we'll
is
talk
every
about later.
chance they're going to get smashed.
They could easily get smashed, especially with Højlund out, who's scoring goals for fun. Yeah.
And like, who's going to score their goals? Rashford's not in goal scoring form.
He needs to-
Anthony.
He needs to head back out on the town again.
Anthony.
Anthony doesn't even know how to play football at the moment, so
I think he's going to get sold in the summer.
he might.
All right, let's take a look at 2 games over the weekend. I don't know why he's talked about Tottenham and Palace as a game
Ange
to look
ball.
at.
Bit of Ange ball. I don't know. For all the people that love Ange out there, they wanted to make top
To be
four.
fair, there aren't many good games.
No.
Yeah,
this
I
week, so-
honestly, I had a look. I was like, this isn't great. We've
Just-
got a Manchester derby.
I already touched on it, so we don't have to talk about it that much. Spurs just desperately need a win, puts a bit less pressure off Ange. I think they got to finish top 4 now to consider it a successful season, especially the way they started. So that's what I'm going
Well,
for.
the Palace new manager bounce kick. Or still,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard your
I
stat last year. I was going to remind you that I think Arsenal won 4-0 when they had Roy come in for their first game
Yeah.
last year.
Oh, really?
Doesn't work.
Well, they worked.
Well, they worked. They won 3-0.
Yeah.
In the first game was Oliver Glasgow.
Glasgow.
But
Holy
no,
shit.
I think Tottenham win this, especially at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy.
Wow, this is an average weekend of football.
It is.
is,
But that's
isn't
why we got the Manchester derby.
Yeah, at least we got the Manchester derby to talk about.
Not until Monday.
Yeah, it's a long. These game weeks are spread out over
They
the next
are,
couple
yeah.
of weeks.
Stretched out,
We've
yeah.
got an international break coming up soon too. Ugh. Anyway,
Don't get so excited.
City against United. This could be really bad.
It could be.
City are missing something though at the moment, so there's something they need to spark up. I know they smashed Luton midweek in the FA Cup, but it's the FA Cup and it was Luton.
How many did Højlund score? Haaland.
The other
Five.
five.
Four
And,
assists from De
four
Bruyne.
assists from De Bruyne. That was that's like the perfect duo.
All I know
it's
is
amazing.
I got back on my first day and Stats guy was crying about fantasy because I think he triple captained Haaland.
Oh,
a few
so
weeks
was
ago.
Leo was as well. Triple captain Haaland. He gets. I think all they gave him was an assist because he was lucky to get that. And he
If
did nothing for me.
anyone's questioned his form, like 5 against Luton, will
Yeah.
get him back in the frame of mind.
Yeah.
He just needs to reset the
He's
robot.
obviously scored a hat trick in a Manchester derby in the past, and Manchester City have won 4 of the past 5. There was
Yep.
that when Manchester United were in amazing form
Rashford.
this time
Rashford
last
was,
year
yeah.
that they won 2-1. But other than that, City have a dominant record, and this is at the Etihad, so going there to try and get a result. Oof.
If this was at Old Trafford, yeah, you could say, oh, maybe
You
you
could say
have
like
a
a
sneaky
3-1.
chance.
If Højlund was playing, I think
Yeah.
that gives them a little bit of an avenue and an output up top
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you could say like, do us a favor here, hold the ball, and then just lay
Have
it
a
off,
ping,
so
yeah.
just so we can have a minute or two of just relax.
And then staying in the offensive
But
end. Yeah.
it was this game? Yeah, was it Foden and Haaland hat trick
Both
last
hat
time?
tricks.
Wasn't
They've
it?
lost.
No,
their-
not last time. I think it was a couple
Oh,
of
the-
games
the-
ago.
It was
the,
no. It was
six-
the last game at the Etihad.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
My bad.
that's what I mean.
And yeah, they both got a hat trick. The two
Yeah.
star boys.
And
so.
Foden's in form as well, so watch out.
Yeah, and I think the game before that they lost like 4-1 or something. So not ideal.
Should we give a prediction of score maybe? What do you reckon, Alex?
3-1. I still think
3-1 to City, yeah?
I still think City aren't. They haven't kicked into gear yet.
Yep.
I'll go 3-0.
Yeah, I'll go 4-1.
Yeah.
I reckon. Haaland. I'm gonna go Haaland hat trick. I reckon he's gonna fire off for this one.
Yeah, nice. And back to the fantasy thing of triple captain. I've triple captained Bukayo Saka this weekend
I don't mind that. If you're predicting 7 goals, it's
against
gonna
Sheffield.
be.
Yeah,
Sheffield United.
yeah.
Yeah,
He scored 7 goals in his last 5 games. So a double and assist would be nice.
That would be nice.
No
Well, is
pressure.
this the game where if Arteta finally rests him?
No, he won't be resting. Arsenal have a 19-day break coming up soon. He will not be resting Bukayo Saka.
No, but they don't. Arsenal don't rest Bukayo Saka very rarely. They're like run until your legs stop, mate.
We don't rest the 18. What are you talking about?
Oh, I could just see the front three of Trossard.
No, but
Martinelli.
he comes on. He does come off if we're up like 5-0 in the 60th minute, he'll
Yeah.
yank him off. That's
Yeah.
what he's been doing
Yeah.
the last month.
Fair.
That's
Because Saka's like, I really want to score a hat trick, man. You keep taking me off.
Yeah, he could get her first half on. Who knows?
Hey, that'd be great. All right, that is Football Today done and dusted for this week. We'll be back at some stage next week with AFL Today really kicking into gear. Football takes just that tiniest bit of a backseat to everything, given, we are here in Melbourne, so AFL does rule the universe, but we'll be back at least once a week, possibly twice a webut rotating cast of characters. Stats guy might be back in the host chair because, well, it's the middle of horse racing season. I'm pretty busy.
And that's what the people want, I guess. Yeah.
No, it's just literally, it's just a lack of resources. That's all it is. But please make sure you go check us out on social media. What do we got? TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram. I think we're on Threads. I don't think we do
No,
anything
Threads
on
is crap. Don't go on Threads. We don't do that anymore.
I was about to say, Stats Guy just talking junk about Meta after the press release earlier this afternoon. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Cheers, Marcus.
Cheers, Alex.
Shout out to Homie. He stepped in today to do
Thanks,
some
Homie.
producing work here because I don't know where Gerald is. Hope Gerald's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. Got a great head of hair at the moment. Shout out to Leo as well. We
And
are done
pipes
and
as well.
dusted. Oh, the pipes, my God. He is a good looking man,
Tree
Gerald. Yeah, exactly. All right, we're done and dusted here on Football Today. We'll catch you next week.